Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use multi-valued fields, what they are, how you should use them, and when you should avoid them. Today's question comes from Craig in Brattleboro, New Hampshire, one of my Platinum members. Craig asks, I inherited a database from my predecessor. In it, she used multi-valued fields to track the sales reps assigned to each customer, as there can be several. I've watched many of your videos where you say not to use them, but in all honesty, they seem to work just fine. What's the deal? Well, Craig, multi-valued fields have had a place on my evil access stuff list for a long time now. And basically, in a nutshell, it goes like this. They're fine for absolute beginners, people who want to use Access for a real simple database but have absolutely no plans on becoming a real Access developer or, upgrading that database to something bigger in the future. If you just want a little simple Access database to store a few things, okay, fine, you can use multi-valued fields. But don't complain to me later on when you have problems because you're trying to do something that multi-valued fields aren't good for. Let me explain. Okay, for those of you who might not know what a multi-valued field is, it basically allows you to select multiple options for one field in your table. For example, here, I've got a single field called sales reps that can hold multiple values, in this case, Bob, Sue, and Amy. Now, they're useful, as I mentioned a minute ago, because they allow novice users, novice, however you want to pronounce it, the ability to store multiple values in a single field without having to learn complex relationships or build a junction table. Now, one thing you shouldn't do is make different multiple fields, sales rep 1, sales rep 2, sales rep 3, sales rep 4, and so on, because then you limit yourself to a specific number of sales reps. All right, that should be a relationship to a different table. Now, in order to create that relationship properly, you need something called a many-to-many relationship. I've got a different video that explains how to do that. But essentially, in a many-to-many relationship, you need to have a third table called a junction table. Right over here, we got drivers, and over here, we got cars. Okay, and for each driver to drive multiple cars, and for each car to have multiple drivers, you have to have this thing in the middle called a junction table. Go watch this video, my many-to-many video, which is free, if you want to learn how to set this up properly. Essentially, what Access does is it provides you a hack for the interface. In other words, multi-valued fields really aren't a data type. It's that Microsoft has hacked the interface to basically do a lot of this stuff behind the scenes. They create that junction table for you, but don't really let you see it, so you don't know what's going on. Okay? A lot of that behind the scenes stuff, however, gets very difficult to work with later on if you do decide to graduate to a more powerful database. You learn a little bit more about Access. You want to start doing some more relationship stuff yourself. Then you go back and kick yourself in the butt for making these multi-valued fields. And I'm going to show in the extended cut for the members exactly what a pain it is to access some of these fields. Essentially, if you're a database purist, right, you're all into database theory, multi-valued fields violate the rules of normalization. There's a whole set of rules that say what databases should do and should not do, and this is definitely one of the things they should not do. Okay, but again, Microsoft is trying to add this feature to get people who don't want to be database administrators and database experts to be able to pick multi-valued fields like this. But they're kind of like putting training wheels on a motorcycle. Right? They might help you out a little bit, but as you get a little bit more advanced, you're going to realize that you really don't want them there. All right, so for a very, very simple database that you're not going to really grow, they're okay, but you'll wish you didn't have them later on. There's lots of issues with VBA and SQL. Older versions of Access, for example, you couldn't even run an append or a delete query on a table if it had a multi-valued field in it. They've fixed that issue since. But this was one of the major reasons why I decided not to use them when they came out back in 2007 or 2010, I think. They've done some fixes on them, but they're still not great. Now, if you're planning on upgrading your Access database to work online, they're okay if you're using SharePoint lists. but they're not okay if you plan to upgrade to SQL Server. Your multi-valued fields will get converted to an end text field, which is basically a memo or long text field. So that makes them useless right there. You'll have to manually go in and break that off into a separate table and make a junction table for it. I've got several other references of why you shouldn't use them. I'm not going to go over all of them in this video. I'll put some links down below in the link section. Go look down below the video in the link section, and I'll put some links down there you can click on to read why some other people, including some Access MVPs, recommend that you don't use multi-valued fields for all but the simplest of databases. So let me walk you through setting up a multi-valued field right now so you can see how they work. Again, for nothing but the simplest of databases, what I recommend using this for. And I'm mostly showing this to you because you might inherit a database that someone else built that has multi-valued fields in. So I want you to recognize them when you see them. A lot of what we do as Access people is to get stuff that other people tried to build in Access that have no business building with Access. They haven't even watched my beginner level 1 class. But, okay, everyone, to each his own. Okay, so in my customer form, let's say we want to set up a sales reps field down here where we can pick multiple sales reps. All right, we don't want to go through setting up a junction table, but I am going to suggest that we set up a table for our sales reps. Yes, you can use a lookup that's based on a list, just like you can do with a combo box or a list box, where you could type in that list of values. In the multi-valued field itself, I don't recommend doing that because if you want to use this list anywhere else, like, for example, on your order form, then you'd want that list of sales reps in a table. All right, so let's create table design. We need a sales rep ID and a sales rep name. I'm going to keep it simple, and it's just those two things for now. Sales rep table. Okay, that's it. And in my sales rep table, I'll put my list of sales reps. We got Bob. We got Joe. We got Sue. We got Amy. We got Doug. And we got Getty and Alex and Neil. Okay? Okay. Close it down. Now, there's no way for us to put that information into a single field in our customer table, and each customer could have multiple sales reps assigned to them. I've seen it several times where people did that. I've also seen a lot where you have products in your product table that are assigned to multiple vendors. You might buy a, widget A from 3 different suppliers. So let's go make a multi-valued field. Let's go to our customer table, right-click, design view, down to the bottom here, and we're going to call this sales reps, which I almost never do because I try to keep all my field names singular. But in this case, okay, we're going to put multiple values in one field. I just feel dirty doing it. I don't know, it feels wrong. So you're going to come down here to the bottom. You're going to pick Lookup Wizard. All right, Lookup Wizard. And just like a combo box, you're going to look up the values in a table of query. Like I said, you could type in the values that you want, but then that list lives only in that field, and you can't use it anywhere else. So I strongly recommend, if you're going to use a multi-valued field, at least get that list of values from another table. Okay? Unless it's something that will never change. Like, shipping preferences, UPS, FedEx, and even that could change. So anyways, next, where are you getting your list of sales reps from? My sales rep table. And if you want to learn how this thing works in more detail, go watch my relational combo box video. I go over this in a lot more detail. Next, what do you want in here? We're going to bring over both of those things. We need both fields. The first value is going to be the actual value stored in this table. That'll be the ID, 1, 3, 5, 6, whatever. But we want to display the sales rep's name when the user is looking at the list of options. All right, so that's why we need both of those there. All right, you can sort them. I'm going to sort them by the sales rep name. That's the most logical. All right, next. All right, what do you want the list of columns to look like? The key column is hidden. This is the value that actually gets stored in the table. All right, and Access is going to hide that for us. We don't need to see it. Right? All right, let's click next. Okay, now, a couple things. What label would you like for the lookup field? Not a big deal. Data integrity is something you can turn on, but if you do, you can't do multiple values. So leave that off. All right. This just basically means that you can't have, for example, a sales rep get deleted if their value is already assigned to one of the customers. You'd have to delete the customer first and vice versa. This is referential integrity. I got a whole separate video on that. I will include a link to that down below as well. What we want is this guy, though, allow multiple values. And if you do that, it turns that one off. Kind of strange because you can still turn this on later, but not a big deal for right now. Okay, and then we're going to hit finish. And then this is the table must be saved. Save now. And it's going to go ahead and create some relationships for you in the background. In fact, if you come up and click on database tools and then relationships, you'll see this guy here. It puts this relationship together in the relationships window for you, right? Sales reps value, right? There's actually two different things here. There's the sales reps field and there's the sales reps value, which is the value of each individual item inside that multi-valued field gets related over to the sales rep ID in the sales rep table. See, it's creating this weird junctionness in here, I'm going to say. All right, but we can close that. Okay, now look, sales reps is now saved as a number of type long integer because it's actually relating to an auto number in a different table. So that has to be a long integer, just like any standard relationship. But click on the lookup tab down here. And now you'll see that the row source, just like a combo box in a form, is getting select sales rep ID, sales rep name from the sales rep table, order by sales rep name. Okay, again, it looks very much like a combo box. All right, let's go ahead and save this and close it. And let's drop it on our form. All right, open up the customer form, design view. Okay, make some room down here. Go to your add existing fields and look, there it is right down there. All right, sales reps value. Make sure you grab the whole thing, not just the value. Grab this whole thing. Click, drag, and drop it right there. Okay, and this is that label that we talked about a minute ago. I'm just going to do this. Watch this. Click, and then format painter, and then paste, and that makes it black, and it's actually easy to read now. Okay, so sales reps. We can close this, close our form down, save changes, open it back up again, and here we go, sales reps. There's our list. All right, we got Getty, Alex, and Neil. Hit OK, and there you go. They'll show up in here as just a comma-separated list, but you can't edit that at all. If you want to try and type over it or type something into it, you can't. You got to drop this box down and use these options in here. Okay? If you go back, take a look at the table, you'll see the same thing, right? Access is actually doing its best to hide what's in there and present this interface to you. All right, because really what's stored in there is some numbers. Now, how do we get to those numbers? Well, let's take a look at how this looks in a query. Okay? If you create a query, let's say I just bring in my customer table. Okay? And I want to show all my customers with their sales reps. Okay? Customer ID, we'll do first name, last name, and I'll bring in the sales reps whole field, the whole box, not just this little guy. All right, you'll see there's a difference in a minute, you'll see. All right, if I run that, that's what you see. And that's okay if you want to just print out a list of each of your customers and their list of sales reps. But what if there's extra stuff assigned with those sales reps? Like you want to get the sales rep's phone number, okay, or their email address or whatever, right? You want a list of all your customers and their sales reps, and there's some sales reps data. Let's hypothetically say, let me save this. I'll save this as my MVFQ, my multi-valued field query. And let's say our sales reps table has some other bit of data in here. Let's put in just phone number, whatever. Okay. And I'll put a couple phone numbers in here, whatever. Okay. Now, how do I get that information to show up in here? Okay. Well, as we've done with our relational queries in the past, we can add that table, add the sales reps table, right? Where are you? Right there. Okay. Now notice the relationship is formed between the sales rep's value and the sales rep ID over here. Now, bring in the sales rep ID, the sales rep's name, and the phone number. And let's see what we get. All right, look at that. All right, Getty, Alex, Neil each show up with their related information. And that shouldn't be the same, but it is. Well, maybe they share the same phone number. I don't know. Maybe they live together. Okay, and you can see for each customer here, you're going to get a related record to the sales reps table, even though this thing's still showing all three. All right, so let's go back here. Let's say in our customer form, let's go to somebody else here. Let's go to Jimmy Kirk. All right, let's drop this down. Let's pick some sales reps for him. We got Amy and Sue. All right, hit OK. close this. Let's go back to our query, and there you go. Right, you can see Sue and Amy. I'm going to get rid of this one here. Get rid of this sales reps thingy. All right, and now, there, that's a little cleaner. And then you could throw this into a report. You could group by the customer, and then you'd see each one of the sales reps and their related information in the detail section. Now, let me show you one thing. I'm going to save changes to that. Yes, let me show you something that happened to one of my other students who was working with multi-valued fields and couldn't understand why the database broke. Okay, watch this. He was building a database, just like I was showing you there, add existing fields. Now, instead of bringing in the whole block here, he brought in just this sales reps dot value. All right, dropped it there. Okay, save it, close it, open it back up again. And there's a 7 sitting there. What's that 7 for? Well, 7 happens to just be one of the values in this list here. Alex, I believe, is 7, right? Let's see. Yeah, 7. And then Neil is 8, and Getty is 6. Okay. Let's go to the next record. Oh, wait a second here. What happened? That's Richard Ross still the same, and now it's the 6, and now there's 8. So it basically is displaying one record for each of the options in the sales reps. And notice that my total list of customers went up. I only have 6 customers, and now it's showing 9. And look at this. We got James Kirk now has 2 records. Oh, okay, so that's weird. So let's get rid of that. I didn't mean to put that in there. Delete, save, close, open it back up again. Okay, it's still showing 9. And I'm still going to the right, and I can't figure out why I broke my customer form. What happened? Well, this is one of the problems I got with multi-valued fields, is they're extremely erratic. Look what happened when I brought that multi-valued field in. It changed my record source. It changed it to select customer T.star, comma, sales reps dot value from customer T, which is going to have that effect that we just saw. For each customer, you'll have a separate record also in there for each of the values in that multi-valued field. It's a mess. It's a mess. Multi-valued fields are just a mess. So if you're going to work with them, just be aware that you're going to have issues. Okay, I'm sorry. I've never liked them. I still don't like them. I've seen them cause more problems than they fix by just, not having to build a proper relationship with the junction table. Okay, so that in a nutshell is how to use a multi-valued field. And again, I recommend you don't use them, especially if you're watching my channel. I'm assuming you want to be a semi-decent Access developer. Stay away from them if you can. What should you use? You should use a many-to-many relationship with a junction table. This involves using a subform inside of a parent form where you can very easily do the same thing, right? Or if you want to get high-tech, in my Access Developer 15 class, I show you how to use this thing called a multi-select list box. And I've done some tech help videos on this too. Again, I'll put some links down below. You can click on those and watch these videos if you want to. In fact, members, in the custom list box video that I just did a little while ago, I show you how to do a multi-select list box in the extended cut for this one. And speaking of members, I'm going to show you how to programmatically, with record set loops, access the information inside that multi-select list box. It's not as easy as you'd think. You got to kind of dig in there. And the reason why I'm going to teach this to you is because it's very likely that you might encounter someone who's using one of these in a database that you have to work on, and I'll show you how you can pull that thing apart, read those items, and you can use that to put the stuff in a junction table the way it's supposed to be. Okay, and I'll show you how to add an item, a selected item, to that list box as well. And that's coming up in the extended cut for the members. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. Gold members can download the databases and have access to my code vault. How do you become a member? Click on the Join button below the video. After you click the Join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, 1 free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any tech help questions to me, and you'll get 1 free expert class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for tech help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and one free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for Access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level, even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this tech help video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.